What's up, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast brought to you by TVCaptive.com for Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, Season 1, Episode 13, and they lived, ... Also the series finale. But first, I am your host, Dom, and with me I have my two co-hosts, Peter Cottontail.
Yes. No, I'm Clio. Hi.
Hi. And the Mad
Did you hear
Hatter.
both ways, Dom?
I have heard it both ways. Now that you mention
both
it.
ways? I don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
If you heard it both ways, never mind. Sorry.
I interrupted you.
And the Mad Hatter down there.
Yeah.
AKA Rachel.
100-year-old top hat.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
That it's fucking gorgeous.
It is. What is the 10-6 supposed to actually mean?
The hat size.
How do you enunciate that?
10/6?
I do.
It's 10/6 of a hat?
I don't know. That's just what I've read. That's because it was like one of those questions.
Is it like 10 inches deep, 6-inch diameter? Is that...
Would that
like
be the equivalent of leaving the tag and the sticker on your baseball cap?
Yes.
Holy
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's all coming full
That
circle.
hat started it. He was the original OG.
shit! Oh my god, that's awesome.
It's coming full
There's a whole
circle.
new level of that now.
There is.
Yeah. All these
Right.
people thought they were the first to do it. No, it was Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
I ripped the sticker off somebody's hat.
I don't know. It's either the hat size
I
or
got so mad.
like 10 silver, 6 pence or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
So, it's over. Seems like it just started like 13 episodes ago.
It is pretty sad.
It
It is
is. I don't even...
Especially after how good this episode is.
This
I know.
episode was phenomenal. There's so many people out there. Like, I was going through when the news came out last week, and when we heard for sure that the series had been in fact canceled, had not been picked up for a second season. So there's replies. I'm reading straight down the list. People are like, "Oh, the show's still on." People watch this show. Like, I was like, there's so much negative comments for this show.
What asshole!
I know.
Because they're comparing it to the original, and you can't compare it to
Well,
the original.
here's the thing.
But the thing is, even if you do, it's still good, and it's not
Right.
it's not a show like S.H.I.E.L.D. It's not a show that started off really slowly.
No, it kind of is. It did have a rough start in the beginning. Once Upon a Time did.
Episodes were all right.
The first few were a little rough getting into. They were. The pilot was good. Pilot was really good
I
for the
remember-
original Once Upon a Time, right? And then the next like 2 or 3 episodes were kind of rocky. Like after that, because we had like the not Sleeping Beauty. We had the King Midas episode was early in. It was like the second or third episode. I don't know. There was like a couple of like fairy tale characters we didn't even care about like whatsoever. They threw on us really early on with like little tiny hints of like what to come. I think Maleficent was the second episode.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was the 3rd episode or the 4th episode that was Midas, maybe even the 5th. But I think it was right around episode 7 or 8 for me where the show became one of those, all right, it's getting better kind of things. Wonderland, I almost want to say, didn't hit its stride until the mid-season break.
I mean, I've liked it because I'm really interested in the characters and stuff. But yeah, after the mid-season break, they kind of had to. I mean, if it was going to end, they had to ramp it up. There was no way they could it.
Yeah.
I remember being hooked from the beginning.
Oh, so was I. But
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
there was a point like early on where it was just like, all right, this is a good show. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not at the edge of my seat waiting for the next episode. And that didn't happen until the mid-season finale. Every episode, I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait till next week. I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean. Like, it finally hit its stride at the mid-season mark.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. I was very pleased with the finale. I don't know about you guys.
Yes.
I think they wrapped it up very well. Especially, they've kept their promise and said that it was going to be a one season arc. There was not going to be any cliffhangers or anything like that.
Yeah.
And
But they did leave it open.
they left it open without leaving a cliffhanger, which was
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly. Which is very hard to do.
It is. It is. So this is one of the few times that I can honestly say I enjoyed the finale.
Yeah.
We just got through doing a show for Psych. That was another one, and probably the only other one for me that I can say that I was honestly satisfied with a rushed kind of ending. I call this a rushed ending, even though they planned on it, because you're gonna expect that they're gonna want to leave the door open for it. But the only other one I could say for definitively that was they didn't know they were canceled until they had already started the season was Stargate Universe, and the way that they wrapped up that show. They left it where it's satisfying as an ending, not a happy satisfying, but it closed things, and they left it open where if they decide to return to the series even 10 years from now, they can flawlessly, and it's perfect, and I love that. So
fair enough.
There's not many shows that I can say that the finale was that good, and this is one of them. This
was
was a good one.
Very interesting. I do like the flash forward and her telling the story to her daughter, it was a nice ending. I knew she was going to get her happy ending. So,
right. So the Allison Cyrus had a daughter, and the daughter ends up naming it Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Right. So now that was the title of one of the actual books, right?
Yeah, the original one.
The original, yeah.
So, how come Jafar was not mentioned in the original book? Or the genie?
Writers.
I know. I do like the fact that they used that title still, and when the daughter was like, "Is this true?" and she's like, "Every word of it," but we don't, because we never heard any mention of Jafar in that book. We never heard of Cyrus, so she could have modified it. We don't know.
Well, it could be a thing where she if that ends up being the published work. Well, also you said this is another universe. This isn't actual England. This is
correct.
Different universe England. So it could be that
here's something that I actually thought was when it was, but it's not. I found a new information between this and our last Once Upon a Time podcast. So, question we had been having this whole show was, where does this fit in the timeline? And we're talking about time travel, all this stuff. So, to our knowledge, the Rabbit does not have the ability to use time travel. Right? We have no definitive answer on that, so we cannot say that he does or doesn't. We can't even... We speculated that he does. But the only thing we know for sure is he can travel to other worlds. The 1800 Victorian England, right? Is 1800 or 1700s?
1800.
So 1800 Victorian England, that is its own world, right? It is not associated with the land.
Our 1800s.
Yeah, it's not the land without magic. It's not that world. It's a completely different world whatsoever, and it is also separate from Peter Pan's Land Without Magic. Now, it is unknown if Peter Pan's and our world are the same universe. We don't know anything about that, but it is definitely different from Alice's. That is confirmed by one of the writers on Twitter. As for the timeline now, originally thought this took place before Emma got to Storybrooke. That is not the case. This took place in season 2 of Storybrooke.
Really? So Will was hanging around?
Yes.
For the first season and a half.
He was probably just holed away in his apartment or something, so we didn't see him or whatever on the show. The actual timeline in which this takes place, when Will goes into into Granny's diner, is during the Wraith attack.
Oh, okay.
When the Wraith is like going through the streets and damaging things or whatever, and I believe Granny's was actually attacked as well by the Wraith at that point, and they probably attributed the damage that the rabbit did to the Wraith, and
Okay.
I would assume that that's how they kind of just explain that in the show. The reason, the way to find this information out was there was 2 separate versions of the pilot that were released.
Oh yeah.
One was released at Comic-Con and some other convention. It was San Diego Comic-Con and something else, where they showed a different version of what we saw as the pilot.
Yeah, I saw that one. I saw the original one, and then they took it down.
That one had the Wraith in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So, yeah. So that's how the timeline has been officially confirmed.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's that puts that to rest. So even though they didn't explain to us in the finale, I'm happy because we have an answer anyway. It's just something that I guess we didn't put enough research into at the time. And we had the answer right in front of us the whole time, but we got it now for the end of the show, so that's what matters.
That's fine.
So,
just in time. Nick of time.
Just in the nick of time.
Anyway, I was going to say that perhaps Alice's actual version of the story is different from when Lewis Carroll in our world writes Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Either he gets it wrong or he interprets it for himself.
Right.
Either way.
Because for all we know, the rabbit could have transported Lewis Carroll into Alice's Victorian England and got a hold of the book somehow. We don't know.
I was going to say, maybe she lost the book or he got a hold of it.
Yeah, and then he rewrote it so he didn't plagiarize and just took out Jafar and whatever. So, yes. I don't know, were you guys satisfied with Jafar?
Yes. I got up, I did a lap around the living room. I'm like, she's going to turn him into a genie!
Well, and then that begs the question, if the well turns everyone that steals the water into genies, maybe the brothers weren't the first. Maybe it was Sydney, or she turned other people into genies for stealing the water.
Yeah,
we talked about Sydney, and he might be a different kind of genie because his spell was broken by something other than the well.
Right. It seemed like the genies that came from the well, the unwritten rule, I guess, that went with their bottle was if you freed the genie, you became a genie. And then in Once Upon a Time, we had seen Sydney and the king freed Sydney from the bottle, and the king did not become a genie.
Yeah.
So
it might be 2 different kinds of genies.
Right.
Yeah.
So it seems the one from the Well of Wonders is a curse. Mm-hmm. And we don't know the origin of the other one whatsoever.
But you never know. There could be more genies before the brothers.
Right.
Maybe they
probably were. I mean, it could be.
Yeah. So
could be the first time someone stole water from there.
Yeah. The fact that Amara was calling them the 3 genies and whatever, like, it makes sense, and I'm pretty content with that. I'm not as angry as I was before about. I think it was like last week when this all went down, and
you were all angry. So angry.
No, last week when they revealed that Amara had called them the 3 genies, that's when I kind of calmed down about this. But the whole Sydney thing was getting me kind of mad, and the fact that they
mad, I was just very confused that I couldn't figure it out.
and that's what was getting me mad.
Yeah.
And the fact that Anastasia has not been confirmed or denied, but has been implied to be the stepsister of Cinderella. Has also put me at ease because it is not a confirmation. And
but
I can't see who else it could be.
I don't know.
It could be the other fairy tale Anastasia, the non-Disney cartoon.
She didn't have stepsisters.
We don't know that.
No, she didn't have stepsisters.
Are you talking the Romanov Anastasia?
Yes.
No,
yeah, she was. No.
You don't know.
Her father was killed.
Yeah.
Her mother was killed.
She was also actually
she
right.
She has no stepsisters.
You don't know that.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Before she was born, she could have had sisters. You don't know. She was born into it. Born into sisters. The father could have had kids before she was born with another girl. That Anastasia. Therefore, she would have stepsisters.
You're stretching.
I mean, the Romanoff was my
original guess
theory before
right.
We found out that she had a stepmother it was her mother.
It was her mother, and then we found out when the Jabberwocky said, your stepsister married the prince. And
yes.
Right.
So that clearly, that sounds like,
Sounds like, but not confirmed.
Oh, anyways, it would be a good way for them if they do bring Will and Anastasia back to Storybrooke or the Enchanted Forest. Be a good way to incorporate Cinderella back into the story arc. Because, I mean, she had the baby and got back with her prince. And what happened?
Yeah.
And it was nothing. They just left it off with that. So, I mean, this would be a good way for them to bring, after this storyline is somewhat done, to bring that in and maybe do something with that. Because, I mean, really, Cinderella is a very complicated, because, she wasn't born royalty. And then they could add the whole stepmother. Maybe the stepmother wasn't evil stepmother towards Cinderella, but towards her own daughters, because she knew Cinderella could forward herself into the whole society.
Yeah.
She's not Cinderella's stepsister. So I don't know. We saw Jafar raise an undead army. He changed the laws of magic, the rules. Were you guys surprised that it was limited to him and Amara as opposed to all of the universe? Like, was that something you guys were expecting?
I was expecting that. I knew it was going to just be them two that were going to have these magic. Because, I mean, they're the only ones that did the incantation or whatever it is they did.
It wasn't what I thought, but I wasn't shocked.
Yeah, I kind of was. Like, I didn't expect it. I was expecting, because the way they had said it is he was looking to change the rules of magic. He didn't say for himself. So I kind of expected it to be a universal or locally limited to Wonderland.
Yeah,
I was not expecting Jafar and Amara to be the only two people that could break the rules of magic.
I always thought it would be just him and whoever helped him, I guess. Her.
But so you guys were satisfied with the fact that he became a genie at the end and that's how they left it? We don't know what happened to the bottle. We don't know anything. We just know he's a genie now. The bottle disappeared.
He got sent off.
Right.
He got sent off.
Just like
right.
The boys did.
Cyrus?
They got.
Yes.
Yeah, Cyrus.
I was going to call him Cirrus. What the fuck?
Cyrus?
Nice. Siri, where did Jafar's bottle go?
He got sent off to the next person who's gonna,
Siri
be the master.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be another way of getting Jafar into maybe Enchanted Forest or Storybook too.
Or Oz. Or Oz.
Or Oz.
Yeah.
Or the land.
I'm wondering if we're going to take a trip to Oz. I hope we do.
The land without color.
No, that was Kansas.
Yeah, that's Kansas.
That's also Dr. Frankenstein.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So.
I forgot that's what they call Frankenstein's world.
The land without color.
Yeah.
Yes. So Anastasia and excuse me, my throat. I had to clear it. I'm a ventriloquist like that. You didn't even see me do it.
Good job.
I know. Anastasia and Cyrus were both resurrected. We knew that was coming. It was in the synopsis for this episode. It seemed like everything that was in the synopsis happened within the first 10 minutes of the episode. So they're like the undead army.
There was a lot of oh shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like they changed the rules of magic, and then it was just like holy shit after holy shit after holy shit.
Am I the only one that was kind of grossed out with Anastasia and Jafar kissing?
Oh, I couldn't look at it. I was just like Alice. I was like,
oh.
Can I tell you though? If that happened in the beginning of this show, I would have been totally okay with that. I would have been on board that train. But now I'm just like, no.
That it was kind of, it was like, oh, and he was, and like her, you know, with her lips being so big and then his being so small, it was just like she inhaled it.
Yeah.
It was kind of awkward.
Didn't even care. He started saying words in the middle of them
And she's kissing him. It's like, oh god, this is like awkward. It's like watching someone's home video.
Oh god.
The one moment that I called as soon as it, like, he snapped his fingers and he made his father love him.
Yeah.
As soon as it happened, I said to myself, he's gonna kill him.
Yeah.
And something that didn't hit my mind until it happened, that he only wanted him to love him so he could kill him.
Yeah.
And I had not previously thought of that.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know. I knew he was going to make his father love him, but I didn't know he. Like, I knew maybe he would kill him. I didn't know why. You know, well, I didn't know why. But
Yeah.
I didn't know this is the way he was going to do it. But it's totally understandable. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he loved his father, and his father killed him. So turnabout's fair play, you know.
Yeah, it was justified. I mean,
I
see nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Just kill anybody that loves you.
Well, like Alice says, it wasn't real love.
No.
No,
Nope.
it wasn't. That's the only thing that was irking me through this whole series is Alice was pretty cocky.
About what?
Her love for Cyrus.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's the end-all, be-all, can do anything kind of love, and she doesn't give a fuck about anything else or anyone else because this is going to overpower everything. And it kind of rubbed me the wrong way in this episode. That was the only thing of this episode, because it was like that final moment when, well, not the final moment, I guess it was kind of the final moment, but when Jafar was like, you know, I'm going to erase every memory of you, and she's just like, well, you can do whatever you want, but our love is real love, and you can't destroy that.
No. And it made him realize, I mean the love that, you know.
I like the speech up to that point.
I mean, her belief in her love, I don't think was cocky. I think it was like
a young girl. She's what, 19?
I think she's a little older than that by now.
I think she was maybe, no, I don't know. No, she was 19 and like her first, because, see, what story did they go with? Was she originally set to be married now, going on her first trip to Wonderland? Because that's how it was in the books.
What? Hold on, what?
In the books, she was betrothed to someone. That's why she ran up to Wonderland. Well,
Right.
I don't remember that, and I just read the books like this year.
no, that was the
Tim
remake
Burton.
of Wonderland.
Well, yeah, that was in the
Yeah.
Tim Burton one
But
as
I
well.
don't think that happened in the book. She was still very young in the second book, in Through the Looking Glass. She was a little older, but she wasn't that
And
old.
wasn't she also proclaimed queen in Through the Looking Glass? She was the queen of the Looking Glass or something like that?
Well, when she went through the Looking Glass, she was part of a chess game. She was a pawn in a chess game, basically. And she reaches the other side of the board and gets proclaimed queen.
Right. So she became queen of the Looking Glass.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember, I went to New York. I went to the Disney store. And I had a discussion with one of the employees there. We were upstairs.
Discussion, or were you arguing with them?
No, it was a discussion. I only have discussions. I never argue.
You have loud discussions.
Yes.
Loud discussions.
Loud discussions.
Loud discussions where you think you're the only one right. And
Loud one-sided discussions where only I can get a word in. Those kind of discussions. Those are discussions. So we were talking about how Alice was not a Disney princess, and I was very upset about this fact.
Yeah, that's true.
She was giving out, because the whole thing, she was giving out Disney princess stickers to people, and I was like, I want one. And she kind of looked at me funny, and she goes, which one? And I go, Alice. She goes, Alice isn't a Disney princess. And then we got into this whole thing, and I was like, she was royalty, like she was queen of the Looking Glass, and
well, not in the
like
Disney,
no, I
not
know.
in the Disney universe.
Hold on. You can be a Disney lady and be royalty, but not be an official Disney princess. You have to be inducted into the Disney princess.
Right.
To be a Disney princess, and Alice wasn't.
And the reason I started, and she's like, well, she goes, well, she's not officially royalty or whatever, and I go, oh, don't even get me started. I go, neither is Mulan, and she's a Disney princess, and she kind of just sat there, and she's like, I don't have anything to say at this point, so...
Technically, Mulan is noble, and she marries into a higher noble family, so... Princess-ish.
That's a stretch.
They don't have princess and princesses over in China.
Yeah.
So daughters of emperors, so
exactly. So it's a little different.
At the end of Wonderland, they talked about the White Queen.
Yes.
Who were they referring to?
I think they're referring to Anastasia. I think Anastasia and Will get married and go back and rule Wonderland.
Because Anastasia was in a white dress because Alice was in a
purple
dress. Purple dress. Will was in like a whitish Prince Charming kind of suit.
It was like pinky.
Was it?
I
thought it was off-white.
I thought it was darker.
It's like a pinkish purple, like a periwinkle. It was...
Maybe.
Yeah, they were matching or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It gave off a very Prince Charming vibe to me.
Yes, it was a very royal, like, type outfit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was the last scene when they showed them in Wonderland or something. I remember seeing somebody in white, and it wasn't Alice.
Well, there was a sketch, like a drawing of the White Queen and the King.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was supposed to be Anastasia and Will.
Got it. Yeah, they never said for sure, so it's something that's kind of open, and I
like that. Like I said, they left it very open.
Yeah,
this is also at least 6 or 7 years later, because Alice had to have a kid, and she had to grow up to be whatever age she was at that moment.
And then I like the very end, you see the White Rabbit just kind of like looking on from the distance, like, should I get involved? Should I not? What am I doing?
Nah, he's keeping an eye. You could
tell it wasn't any like pertinent need to like interfere. So it's not like there was danger going on in Wonderland, which I'm happy for, because if it was like all of a sudden the White Rabbit rushes in and it's like we're late, and it ends and you're like, oh really? Like that would have been a disappointing ending. But
I think he's just keeping an eye on them.
Yeah.
If his daughter stops believing, maybe, or something like that, maybe he'd be like, come on over.
So it was no surprise to us, Amara, the way she perished. We knew she was going back to the Well of Wonders. We knew that she was going to have to be sacrificed in order to do so. But in that moment when Jafar is turned into the genie, right? Anastasia dies. But Will doesn't. I mean, not Will. Cyrus.
Yes.
So, I was under the belief that since the rules of magic, the returning the water would end the whole curse of everything that happened and reversed everything that was done.
But Cyrus wasn't completely dead.
They explained that. It was only the things that Jafar did reversed, not what Amara did.
How does that make sense?
Because she sacrificed herself.
Because, and I love how, like, the Well of Wonders was portrayed in this one, because it's like, before you just saw, like, these are the rules, you follow. This one, though, it's like, oh, I see Jafar you met. She had, like, a little smirky smirk, and she was like, I'm taking you down, Jafar, because you are actually a bad dude.
Yeah, because even though Cyrus didn't get the water into the well, he got it there and declared that it became property of the well again.
Yeah, it was his intention.
Right. So
that really mattered.
Yeah.
So she's got a little bit of, emotion to her. She's not just
right.
She's still creepy.
She's a what?
Still creepy.
She's still creepy, and
she's still super creepy.
And I 100% expect to see her at some point in Once Upon a Time somewhere, because we have seen the well that exists in the Enchanted Forest. So I don't think we've seen the last of this character.
Probably not.
Even if it's not this season, it's something I think that we will see again.
Yeah.
Did anyone else
notice
the stepmom in the wedding?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was like looking at like all the rabbits. She's just like,
Yeah.
Oh.
My theory as to why Cyrus didn't die when it was reversed is because Jafar was actually changed. He was changed from this wizard that could break the rules into a genie. So that kind of undid him and everything. Whereas Amara was never reversed. She died.
Okay.
So I don't think her spell was undone, and the only thing she did was resurrect Cyrus. So I don't think she was undone because she became one with the well again, where Jafar himself was altered, which altered his curse.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Cyrus was completely dead, though. I think he was on the verge of dying. I think he was, because Jafar said, to save your son, you have to, basically help me do this.
Probably the moment that I laughed the hardest this episode was when they were in the rabbit's house. And he's like, yeah, we got the matching blood stains on the rug. And he goes, this is where Alice almost bled out. This is where Cyrus's spleen fell out.
Yeah, it was really funny.
I just started laughing, and then I tried so hard because the rabbit was bickering to his wife about it for like a good minute after that in the background, but Amara and Alice were talking, and you couldn't really make it out.
No,
but there was definitely audio, and I would love if this comes out on Blu-ray and there's like behind the scenes. I would love to see if there's some way that they isolate the audio track on that where we can actually hear it.
I do love his wife, and she was like.
The whole John Lithgow going off.
Yeah, because it sounded epic.
I do love his wife. She was like, well, stand back. I've done this. And she goes, or you could do it that way.
Yeah. I was not expecting to see Whoopi Goldberg reprise her role for the finale. That was kind of a nice surprise there.
Yeah, it was very nice.
We didn't see the Rabbit Kids until the very end, right?
Yeah.
Were they even in the end?
Were they at the wedding?
I don't remember if they were at the wedding.
She was. She was sitting in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I don't remember seeing them there.
What was the rabbit's name? They gave him a name in this one.
I don't.
Yeah, she said his name, and I can't remember it.
I can't remember.
Oh, that's gonna bother me.
I only ever remember them calling him
Percy.
Rabbit. Percy.
That's what it is. That's what I knew. They called him something, and I couldn't remember what his name was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool beans.
So that's kind of cool that they gave the rabbit a name. He didn't have a name in the novels or anything like that.
No. I don't remember. No, he was just the White Rabbit.
Yeah. Did his wife have a name?
Oh God, I think he might have said it in the beginning. I can't remember.
I only ever remember him calling her honey or dear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Doesn't say.
I do like the fact that they did set it up that if at all possible, they can either do a short miniseries or transform over to the main show at one point in time. Or if things do change and they do end up bringing this back at some point, which, it has happened in the past with other shows and stuff. But there was a conclusion. You did feel like it was concluded, but you also felt like there's more of the story that can be told.
Yeah. Definitely, 100%. I don't know, overall, were you guys happy with this series? Like, is this something you would, like, obviously Wonderland was special because it was Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
But would you guys, I know we've talked about this before, but would you like to see them do like a one-off series of another story?
I'd love to. Yeah.
That would be cool.
Like, would you like to see, because we still haven't heard Aladdin and Jasmine's Tale.
I know. I was just going to say that. I would want to see Once Upon a Time in Agrabah.
Yeah.
Maybe they would do Agrabah. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. Or there's The Little Mermaid or Mulan.
Yeah.
Like we could start taking individual characters and doing entire backstories for them. Like, if they do Agrabah, then they could explain Sydney. Maybe they could do Aladdin and Jasmine.
Or Sydney and Jafar would be in there, and the Sultan, and there's all these other characters that could.
Yeah, and or Ariel. Then we could have like the Ursula kind of stuff going on, and because we know there was the whole story Ursula there. Yeah, Rapunzel can get a thing. I don't know how awesome a Rapunzel spinoff would be, but I mean, they could do something with that. Because surprisingly enough, the Rapunzel episode we saw, the tower was actually in Sherwood Forest.
Yeah.
So they could kind of do a Robin Hood spinoff there. I think Robin Hood would be really cool.
Sherwood Forest and Channel Forest are close to each other.
Yes, very, very close.
Even though Sherwood Forest is actually in England.
Well, this is the mythical Sherwood Forest.
Yeah.
Melt the actual
Yes.
Sherwood.
So I don't know. I'd like to see them do some spin-off.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz one.
Once upon a time in Oz.
Yeah. I don't know. They could. They probably
See how
wouldn't
far they
do-
go to Oz. And
They probably wouldn't do Wonderland again if they were going to.
No.
But that's
they
not,
might do flashbacks. They might, visit, but
that's not to say that we won't get more Wonderland ever in the main series.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it looks like Sebastian Stan is going to be occupied for quite a while. So I don't think we're ever going to get the Mad Hatter back.
Yeah.
So the reason why he did not appear in this series and has not appeared since on the regular Once Upon a Time is he's been filming the Captain America the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, the Winter Soldier.
But just recently I found out that unlike a lot of the other stars that have signed on for Marvel movies that have only done like 3 movies or something like that, Sebastian Stan is actually signed on for 6 Marvel movies. So I don't think we're ever going to see him, unfortunately, in Once Upon a Time again, unless it's like a one-off episode. But
that actually makes me happy because that means he's going to be in a lot more Marvel, and I fucking love his character.
yes,
Well, yeah. Also, at the same time, they kind of left his character once just kind of. He took off. He took off running and just disappeared.
I thought he reunited with his daughter, right?
He did and disappeared.
Right.
If I wanted Hatter back, I wanted him in Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. Now that there is no Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, it matters a little less to me that he's, not.
Yeah.
I like the Hatter.
I think they probably would have found a place for him. They probably would have found a place for him if Wonderland was renewed for a second series. They probably would have fit him in. But and probably not as a major role. It probably would have been like a
1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But,
But now, unless they do Wonderland in Once Upon a Time, I don't foresee that character coming back anytime soon.
Yeah,
And it sucks ass.
Yeah.
I really love that character. Absolutely loved him.
Yeah. It seems like just bringing him back for like a random episode in Once Upon a Time, it would be a little too random, and it just kind of break the flow of the thing. Unless it absolutely worked, and I don't know. Like, some dire need to get to Wonderland, and he just happened, like, they hunt him
Fixed
down.
his hat.
Whatever. My theory is he has left Storybrooke. He found a way out for him and his daughter, and they're either in another realm or in hiding in Wonderland or something. Because they obviously didn't...
Well, he wouldn't go back to Wonderland. He hates Wonderland.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So...
Yeah.
Maybe he's in Oz.
Oh God.
Maybe he's the wizard.
So that Hatter is the wizard.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. Actually, that would.
I doubt it though, since we're gonna see the wizard.
Yeah.
That would explain a whole hell of a lot.
We're gonna see the wizard in the next episode. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like.
I feel lost now. Thursday nights are never going to be the same.
I don't know. Like, on one hand, I'm upset that it's over and done with and all that. But on the other hand, I think I've had a little too much Once Upon a Time in such a short period of time.
They should have did it what they wanted to do at the first place with it.
Yeah.
It probably would have lasted.
Yeah, because, I don't know, like, having 2 of these shows a week, even though they're kind of different, they're very much the same. And it was a little overwhelming.
I don't know. It was
Slightly overwhelming. So, and I kind of consider us more of the diehard group of watchers here.
Mm-hmm.
And even for me, like, it was on the line of, is this too much Wonderland, or is this too much Once Upon a Time for me in a week? I don't know. I was starting to question it. So as a more casual viewer, I could 100% understand why they didn't watch.
Yeah. I mean,
Wonderland.
If they do a whole new spin-off like Once Upon a Time in Alcaba or whatever, they should do it during make it a short season during the winter break, like they should have done this year with this, or do
summer
it
break.
or the summer break. Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, all the other shows are on break, and there are no new shows really coming on during the summer. And to have a new show, I probably bring more people be like, oh, okay, this is not a rerun. This is not a repeat of a show I've already seen.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
I think that them possibly bringing a new show, a new spin-off show, not what I'm most excited about. What I'm most excited about is the potential for Will and Anastasia to be in Once Upon a Time.
So, exactly. And they're
the two most likely characters for them to bring on to Once Upon a Time.
So,
especially since Robin Hood.
So going around the internet, what's his name? Michael
Socha.
It's been rumored that they are writing him in the story for season four of Once Upon a Time. The problem is this news story dropped on April Fool's Day.
But Entertainment Weekly has it, TV Guide has it, and all the other reputable places have it, and they haven't come back and said, "Oh, April Fools," like they would have. And these sites have not known for doing April Fools.
But they don't have a source either, and that's the part that worries me.
But I could see them doing it though. I could see them bringing him back.
Because the news, the first appearance of this news article was about an hour after April Fool's Day hit. That was the first reported thing 1 hour after April Fool's started.
Well,
and then it started a trickle effect down through all these entertainment websites, and it just started appearing. And Entertainment Weekly and the other big one were not the first ones to report it.
No, they're not the first
ones. So, but hold on. If it's been days, has it been almost a week since April Fool's?
It's been 4 days.
4 days, 5 days?
4.
They would have said something.
Maybe.
If the producers didn't, if this wasn't true, producers would have they would have taken it back.
They would have said this.
It's been a long ass time.
And I've looked all over, and no one has said it's not true.
The thing is, it's not even confirmed that he will be appearing. They said that it is possible.
Yes, it's possible.
Right, that's the big article, though. That's what, if you read the article, it doesn't say that he's confirmed in season 4. It said it is highly probable.
We're just saying that it's possible. We're not saying that it's fact.
Right. No, but I'm saying a lot of people that are reading off of those news articles are taking it verbatim, saying, nope, this says that he's definitely going to be written into the show, and it's not the case.
This was before...
Who cares if they think it's true or not?
Yeah.
Right.
This was written before they actually confirmed ABC, before ABC even actually confirmed Once Upon a Time for a 4th season.
Right. Yeah. Once Upon a Time is not even confirmed still, right now.
Is it not confirmed? I thought they did confirm it.
No, we have no confirmation on 4th season, unless they did it within the last 2 days.
They are. There's no way they're not going to.
Never say never.
So that would be stupid of them. Because
you're destroying my buzz, Dom. Stop being such a negative Nancy.
I'm not a negative Nancy.
Stop screwing with Cleo's buzz.
You're a negative Nancy. Can we steer this in a different direction? Can we talk about
let's talk about how Once Upon a Time is canceled.
And Will's kiss broke the spell, and that means it's fucking true love, and how happy that makes me.
How happy does that make you?
It makes me so happy.
I thought it was going to break him out of his little triangle cell, but it didn't.
Yeah.
But it was funny when he tried to go through.
That's why he ran face first into it.
That was funny. That was the other moment where I just laughed, and I go, Will, you idiot.
Well, he is. He's like a bumbling oaf. He's smart. He has street smarts, but he's just kind of bumbling his way through life, and it's hilarious.
But guys, it's true love, guys.
I haven't yelled at the TV for being stupid since Cyrus did something stupid like 4 episodes ago.
You called him dumb.
Yeah. Well, Will's dumb too for running face first into an invisible brick wall.
Yeah,
you're dumb.
He's clever. No one ever claimed he was smart.
Right.
No.
But then you saw he reached right through the thing.
And it hurt, obviously, because he had that pain on his face.
And then he pulled his face through to kiss her. It's not like he pulled her in.
No, they kissed on the barrier.
Oh,
yep.
Did.
And it went...
But then he runs and he doesn't partially go through it. He just hits it like running into a wall.
Because I think him putting his hand through is different than running into it.
It was a symbol of love.
Yeah.
Symbol of love.
Yes. Ah.
Well, I think it was a silver thing. It was like the same effect when Cyrus put his hands through the silver bars to grab whatever, or to let the paper fly to Alice.
Yeah. We saw nothing from the caterpillar, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but I was kind of expecting Alice to go, and that's where she was gonna raise her army from, rally the troops from there.
From the caterpillar after they stole shit from him? I don't think so.
Well, to save Wonderland.
To save Wonderland, I mean, Jafar was in charge of it. It would wreck the caterpillar's day.
Yeah, the caterpillar had every reason to get Jafar out of there as anybody else. So
it could be a deleted scene because it was very abrupt. That I'm gonna go get an army. Here's an army.
Yeah, the army just appeared out of nowhere. So
yeah, it might be a deleted scene.
And I'm very, very disappointed, probably more than anything, that there was no Cheshire Cat in the finale whatsoever.
Oh, I know, right?
I would have loved to see the Cheshire Cat just, like, trip up Jafar, even for a half second, like he just backpedaled over him or something, and or have the giant Cheshire Cat, like, scare the undead troops, or something would have been awesome.
What disappointed me, I think, is what happened with the Jabberwocky.
Yeah.
It was very...
We don't know what happened to the Jabberwocky. She could still be pinned to that wall right now for all we know.
Yeah, she is.
7 years later. No, I'm saying 7 years later she could still be pinned to the wall, and we don't know. We don't know if they moved her. We don't know anything. Like.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I don't like the way they ended. I wanted to see her rise up against him, and maybe move on.
I would have rather just seen her be like, okay, Jafar's gone. Not necessarily rise up against him, but she already kind of did that in the episode beforehand.
Mm-hmm. I'm gone.
By siding with Alice and them, and for them to just kind of leaving her there.
They didn't know.
No, I know they didn't know, but I felt bad for the Jabberwocky.
I did too.
And
I like her character. I love that character.
Yeah.
I think that, it would have been better if she would have, after all was said and done, she's just like, basically, I'm out.
Especially after the speech she gave last episode, which she was like, well, if Jafar's not here, I have no reason to stay. And she'd move on, and they kind of set that up that the Jabberwocky would be leaving and going somewhere else, and possibly going over onto Wonderland, or, Once Upon a Time or something like that. Mm-hmm. But Jafar just stuck her with the sword, and that's the last we see of her. Like,
that doesn't mean that she can't, come on Once Upon a Time, because obviously somewhere within these 7 years from when that happened to when Alice has the kid, Will and Anastasia go back. We're assuming that they're the ones who become the king and queen of Wonderland.
Right.
So they go back, and that's in the castle. So they would have to, once they sweep the castle, see, oh, there's a fucking Jabberwocky pinned to my wall.
Right.
We should probably take care of that.
Yeah.
It's artistic display.
And one of the Tweedles was also at the wedding. I thought that was kind of funny.
That was so cute. He had her stepsister.
I believe in the script that was Tweedledum, if I'm not mistaken.
Tweedledum's the one who's loyal.
Yes. If I'm not mistaken, it was Tweedledum.
Tweedledum's the one who got his head cut off.
Yes.
Off with his head.
That was great.
Even though within the context of the story, the actual canon of the show, they don't have names. No. In the script, they did, and I think they changed that. In not in post, but on the fly, and never changed the scripts accordingly.
Yeah. Where are your Tweedles?
Yeah. So. Yeah. I don't know.
It's a hard ending. It's like you're okay. It's over. It's a good ending. But at the same time, you're like, I don't want to end. It's bittersweet.
I don't know. I feel like I'm done with the story. I'm happy where it was. I did enjoy the characters, and I think it was.
Oh.
Oh.
Sorry, Sarah said in chat that Alice was 7 in The Adventures in Wonderland, and Through the Looking Glass was only 6 months later. I assumed it was a couple years later.
Right.
Where
And
she
then-
was like, I knew she was about 7 in the first book, and I thought she was like 10 or 12 in the Through the Looking Glass. But
And then according to Disney canon, Tim Burton's took place, I think, 4 years after that.
Well, it had to have been more because it looked like she was 7.
Oh yeah. She was getting married,
she was
so
getting
she
ready
had to
marry.
be
I
at
think she was, like,
least
18.
At least 10.
She had to be at least 16
Yeah.
at the absolute minimum, I think,
Yes.
to be married at that point.
But there was a conversation she had with her mother where it was like, stop putting off getting married. So obviously,
Okay, so yeah.
years she was eligible to be married.
Yeah.
I think
So-
it was like about 10 years.
and it had been a while since she had been to Wonderland, so that was taking in account that Wonderland and the Looking Glass had already happened.
Yeah.
And that went in, and then
No, it's taking into account that Wonderland happened. That she had already been there once, and this is her going back. Not necessarily, because she didn't go through the Looking Glass, she went through the tree again. But there was more to do with the chess pieces, so that was more Through the Looking Glass than
yeah,
Adventures in Wonderland.
yeah. So May 4th to November 4th, she actually gave her age in the Looking Glass. Oh, okay. Interesting. It's a nice little fun fact. What were you guys' favorite characters?
Well,
Will and the Jabberwocky. I loved that character. She was simple but yet complex at the same time. She had a story behind her, and I wanted to know it. There was a reason why she was. I don't think she was always the way she was.
No.
Like she said, evil. We
Okay,
weren't
so
born this way. We were
nothing's
made.
born evil.
Will is the fan favorite. It's like everybody enjoyed Will. I've heard so many people even say that when they were saying that Will was coming over to Once Upon a Time, that he was the only good thing that came out of that show. So I'm
That's
going.
not true.
I know
No,
that's not true.
Anastasia was good.
I know that's not
loved
true. So
Anastasia.
I am going to make that answer not acceptable. So
Okay.
your answer was the
Well, Will is
Jabberwocky.
actually my favorite, so you can just suck it.
I'm sorry, but we're not doing the Psych podcast anymore.
Suck it.
So second
All
favorite.
right, what
then,
was your second favorite?
which I'm just gonna say is your first favorite. So
Saeed.
Saeed.
I like Jafar. I really like. I wouldn't say he's my second favorite.
Mine's equal to
Which surprisingly enough,
and Anastasia.
Jafar is probably the most hated of the characters from the show.
I don't hate him.
I'm not saying from you. I'm saying as a general consensus.
Well, I'm just saying my opinion.
So, I think
I think it depends. With me, it depends on when their character came. Like I love how they did Amara. Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Anastasia, I liked the way how she evolved.
right. She
And,
had one of the best evolutions of characters on the show. So, who was your least favorite character?
Wow.
A lot of people have also said that they did not like Alice.
Alice. I know
I
that. I read that.
I love Alice. I think actually she's my second favorite character.
Yeah,
I'd have to say
she's pretty
Alice.
awesome.
I
But
love Alice.
it felt
I
kind of
don't
weird to
know
me
how-
because this is like a story that's typically known for Alice, but she almost didn't seem like the main character of this.
Yeah.
That's not true.
It almost seemed more a story about Cyrus and his brothers than
That's what it kind of turned into.
right. So
'Cause
that's
the
what I'm saying.
first
That
Half of this season, we're following Alice. We see very little of
Right.
Cyrus. But once you hit that halfway mark and you find out, oh, fuck, he's got brothers who are genies.
it's kind of like when you watch Star Wars.
Ships.
You think the story is about Luke Skywalker, right?
Mhm.
But then you come to realize that the story, the original trilogy anyway, is actually following the characters of the droids R2D2 and C3PO. Like it's told from their kind of point of view, going through. You're following these two robots everywhere. They start off in the Death Star, or not the Death Star, the ship or whatever. You're following through that. But the actual story was the story of Darth Vader the entire time.
Yeah.
And it became even more apparent when the other thing that I don't want to talk about came out. But yeah.
The other thing that you don't want to talk about?
Yeah, the other three things
yeah.
that I don't even want to acknowledge actually exist. Yeah, so I'm curious how that's going to carry on from that, but that's a completely different story. So, least favorite characters?
I don't know. That's hard because these fucking characters are all fantastic.
Yeah, they all had something good about them. I can't.
So there was no character that just overly bothered you for any way, shape, or form, like something, a quirk of theirs that really irked you.
I mean, I was not overly fond of the caterpillar's voice.
Okay.
I know it was Iggy Pop and it was awesome, but
But yeah, it was a little different.
It did get annoying.
It almost sounded like he was out of breath every single time he talked. Like it was a COP, you know. He needed an inhaler to
like he was Treebeard.
He had emphysema or something. Dude, quit smoking.
For me, Jafar was hands down my favorite. I think he was awesome. And my least favorite character. Now, I'm wording this carefully, so don't misinterpret this because you're gonna backlash immediately.
I am.
I mean the Red Queen.
Fuck you, she's the best. No, kidding.
I liked Anastasia. I liked Anastasia, but I did not like the Red Queen.
Right, because it was the Red Queen's turn to die, but not Anastasia's.
Right. I didn't like the whole first half of the season. I hated the Red Queen.
I actually fucking loved her. Because she was just the embodiment of sass. I loved the Red Queen.
I don't know. There's just something about her. It irked me. Like
she oozed sass.
She oozed something.
Oh, I don't know. I think maybe the character that irked me was the Sultan. I don't know why.
Sultan.
Because he was a dick pretending to be... Well, he was a dick veiled as a nice guy.
Yeah, something about him, let him die. I don't care.
Because it's like he's a giant fucking hypocrite. Because he's like...
He was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's probably the least developed character.
Yeah.
But he was... I hated the Red Queen more than him.
I think maybe Cyrus irked me a little bit sometimes, but...
I mean,
I don't think I hated any character.
Yeah, I didn't hate him. He was a little boring.
He was dumb from time to time.
Oh, like as soon as he stopped being a genie, once he became human again, it's like, Cyrus, you're a fucking idiot. Where'd your brain go?
Oh, you know what moment I really liked too? Was when the genies were free. And they're like, we're free. And they look over at Will and they're like, who are you?
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't know.
Yeah. And then Alice and her father got the resolution we were hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
So
obviously her stepmother shut the fuck up because she didn't say shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got everything we wanted out of this episode. And then some.
Yeah, I would like to know what Will said when he said, I object. And he said something after ending. Like, I want to know what he said.
He mouthed.
Yeah, it was probably like a fucking joke. He's being a dick.
I know.
Yeah,
he was, but I want to know what he said.
That whole the relationship that Will and the Alice had was kind of refreshing to see on TV because you don't really get to see the guy girl friendship role ever play out without some kind of relationship innuendo in there whatsoever. Like. Usually it's even if it's one-sided, it's usually hinted or alluded. And there was nothing of that in here. It was really, really refreshing. Even like that last
scene, hug. A little twinge in me went, oh, no. You just got married.
Yeah, right. Honestly, that's where I thought they were going in the beginning. I was like, oh, if this turns into a love triangle, I'm going to beat myself over their head with a crowbar or something.
Yeah, the fact that it was not a love triangle was extremely refreshing.
That does make me very happy, though.
Yeah.
Besties!
Yeah. Besties! Forever!
They went out the way they started, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
I do love that. And I do love the fact that the Anastasia and Alice were becoming friends. They became friends. They hugged each other. Even her and Cyrus hugged. It was like, oh,
cuties.
Yep.
Best bitches.
Yep. So, I think that about does it. Is there anything that we didn't hit?
I think we got it all.
Oh, one.
The dog has some opinions.
Yes.
She has all the opinions.
The other two things I was disappointed in. One was our speculation that the Well of Wonders was not destroyed and turned into the Cave of Wonders.
Oh, yeah.
And when the rabbit bust out of the ground, for a second, I thought that Jafar had, like, zapped it, and I wasn't, like, paying attention or something, and I'm like, oh, wait, that's the rabbit. Never mind.
I thought the well did that.
It was a little unnecessary for Jafar to just kick the rabbit into the woods somewhere, but, you know, I mean,
that was kind of fun.
I mean, we get it, Jafar, you're a bad guy. Like,
I was like, no!
Don't kick the bunny!
The other thing that disappointed me, that was something we did not really expect, we didn't call, we didn't speculate, anything like that, is I would have loved to have seen Jafar's interaction with the riddle door.
Oh yeah.
God, yes.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been hilarious.
Well, I mean, there were no rules to his magic, so he could just be like, true. Fuck you.
Yeah, but he doesn't know what door to go into. There's two.
He could force him to tell him. There was literally no limit to his magic.
It's true. But if Jafar going in didn't know that he was lying and has been like, is this the door? And the guy would have been like, yes or no, and he would have been lying, then...
All in all, I think all our speculations came true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see Jafar walk into the wrong door or something and see what the consequence was. And just see Jafar reverse time. That would have been cool. Have him go through the wrong door, get trapped or something, and then use his power to reverse time to go and choose the other door. Just because we didn't actually get to see the past change. That's the one rule of magic that we did not witness change.
Well, that's because Alice talked her way out of it.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, he realized she was right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not real, but kiss me.
I know, right? Awkward kisses. All of them.
Oh my god, all of them.
All of the awkward kisses. Those are so awkward.
Yes. So, Clio, where can the people find your awkward kisses?
My awkward kisses can be found on Twitter and Tumblr and Pinterest and Vine at Cliomoto, and most certainly on Twitch at the Cliomoto, because this Sunday I'm gonna be doing some very weird games
that involve awkward kissing.
That involve pigeon dating.
Oh,
pigeon. Those are some awkward kisses.
Mm. I'm sure we're gonna see on Instagram some awkward kisses come up for your picture of the day. Rachel, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Twitter at Savannah17, SEVANNA 17.
You can find me at Phenomenodom, PHENOMEDOM.
Phenomenodom.
I am going to change the rules of magic.
You said we're going to do a show with us again.
And turn you into a mime. You're going to do these podcasts as a mime from here on out.
It's fine. I'll learn sign language.
Da, 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 da. She'll just hold up the picture with it written on it.
I'll have someone record something.
Yeah.
That's a button.
You could find us all on tvcaptive.com, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, G+, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows and upcoming movies. That wraps this up. We will not be seeing you again because it's over. It's not coming back.
Watch our other shows though, because they're
good.
But do that.
Ish.
Do that.
Watch Once Upon a Time.
Yes, you guys are still watching Once Upon a Time, so we're doing that.
It's the only other show I'm on.
Until Doctor Who comes back.
Yes, until Doctor Who comes back.
And I know starting Monday, you will be seeing these guys. You will be seeing Clio with Mike. Will be starting the Game of Thrones podcast. So we just got rid of it, but unfortunately, winter is still coming.
From what I hear, winter will be coming for a long time.
Yes, indeed. So, I guess that's it. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, cup. Go down.
Where's your teacup, Mad Hatter?
I lost them all.
You left them in Wonderland.
I left them.
I ran out of breath.
Do 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 do.